Hello folks, the day is finally upon us, kind of, and we do have Khazan's new boss rush modes. Now, I've had an incredibly busy couple of days, and yet I've still managed to put together this absolute masterpiece of a patch notes video, all whilst maintaining eye contact with Norman. Norman's my nosy neighbour that wants to know why I'm always shouting despite living alone, but truth be told, I think he just really likes patch notes. Speaking of, we do have a ton with tomorrow's update, but just before we get into that, I'll start with the juicy stuff, because unlike Norman, I don't hold out. The update does drop in roughly 12 hours from this video being published, and the full details are as follows. After finishing the game once, you can enter the ultimate challenge from the title screen. You can then choose between two modes, Great General's Crucible or Berserker's Bloodshed. Upon entering the selected mode, you will see boss information and battle records, weapon used and time recorded, and you can begin your challenge. When you enter the challenge area for the first time, a one-time tutorial will play. You will receive and be equipped with gear, resources available for growth, and consumables tailored to the mode. You can use the Tome of Challenge to upgrade your stats and begin the fight in the challenge area. You cannot begin the mode without equipping a weapon, but you can begin the mode even if you haven't equipped armor or haven't used resources available for growth. But the game will display a warning notification just before you enter. For Great General's Crucible mode specifically, in this mode, you must consecutively defeat all of the bosses in a group using limited gear and resources. Before the battle begins, you can use the Tome of Challenge to upgrade or reset your stats, and the amount of Lacrima required to level up is the same as within main missions. There are 5 groups in total, and defeating all of the bosses within a group will unlock the next. We have Tides of Ruin, Earth-Shaking Roar, Unyielding Foes, Corruptors, and the Nightmare of Chaos. In regards to the battle resource rules, battles start with spirit at 50% and remain at that level whilst you defeat each group. Netherworld energy will not charge whilst you defeat the group. Health is restored each time a boss is defeated, and all status effects are removed each time a boss is also defeated. The consumable rules, we have buff items used in the challenge do have time limits, and all active buffs disappear when you proceed to the next area. For progress and records, the mode selection screen displays the time spent on boss battles, individual boss defeat records, and cumulative battle history. You will automatically proceed to the next challenge 15 seconds after having defeated the boss. If your character dies or clears the mode, you can view the list of defeated bosses. Upon completing the mode, tokens will be delivered to your mailbox within the crevice, and you can then talk to the Blade Phantom to exchange these tokens for other items. That is quite a lot of information on General's Crucible already. I'll be excited to see how the rewards actually play, and I'm definitely jumping in on day one. Moving on, we have Berserker's Bloodshed. But just before we get into that, folks, as some of you may already know, this is a relatively new channel, and I have just made the decision to go full-time, which is why I'm very grateful to announce that this video is sponsored by Xmod. Xmod is an intuitive all-in-one modding tool that includes thousands of free mods, cheats, and trainers for over 5,000 different PC games, and that number is constantly growing. All of the channel's favorites, such as Khazan, Stalker 2, and even the most recently covered Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, is here. I've personally been playing a lot of Expedition 33 just recently, and some of these mods have made replaying the game and seeking out guide video content much easier. I was a little skeptical at first due to having practically zero experience with installing and managing mods. However, I was pleasantly surprised with how intuitive and easy the entire experience was, and despite barely needing them myself, Xmod does have a plethora of different day one trainers that cover practically everything you could ever need to know. So even if you're like me and you like the idea of modding your games but have never really dabbled in modding before, then I can personally reassure you that Xmod is definitely the way to go. You quite simply install Xmod and then very easily add your favorite games into your Xmod library. Then, upon launching any of your games, you will now have access to a range of different mods and cheats that you can quite simply just toggle on and off at your own leisure. There are also other additions per game, such as a DLSS quality boost and a range of popular web source mods that you can install whenever you like. This will quite frankly revolutionize how I approach creating guide videos in the future, as I was always put off modding due to my own inexperience, but Xmod has really opened my eyes to just how seamless and easy it all can be, and has most definitely now become a tool I'll be using almost daily. So if you're interested in mods but don't know where to start, or even if you're a fellow content creator looking to streamline your methods or find new content ideas, then I definitely recommend downloading Xmod, because after all, folks, it is absolutely free. I'll leave a sponsored download link in the description below for anyone interested in modding or maybe just wanting to support the channel and check out Xmod along the way. Otherwise, a huge thank you to Xmod again for sponsoring this video, and now back to Khazan. In regards to the Berserker's Bloodshed mode, in this mode you can earn rewards with each victory, grow stronger, and defeat the final boss. Before the battle begins, you can use the Tome of Challenge to upgrade or reset your stats, and again, the amount of Lacrima required to level up is the same as within main missions. There is no continue option if you give up or your character dies during battle in the middle of this challenge, and if you restart the challenge, you must fight the first boss again. In regards to the battle resource rules, battles start with spirit at 50% each time a boss is defeated, and in addition, Netherworld energy, health, and all status effects are either restored or removed once a boss is also defeated. In regards to the consumable rules, we have buff items used within the challenge do have time limits, and all active buffs will disappear when you proceed to the next area. And then finally, for the progress and records, the mode selection screen displays the time spent on boss battles, individual boss defeat records, and cumulative battle history. If your character dies or completes the mode, you can check the list of defeated bosses and choose to retry or end the challenge. After defeating each boss, you can upgrade your stats by using the Tome of Challenge, purchasing items, or traveling to another area. Now, in regards to the Tome of Challenge itself, for stat upgrades, you can upgrade or reset your stats using a reward from defeating a boss. The amount of Lacrima required to level up is the same as within main missions. In regards to the Lacrima shop, each time you defeat a boss, the items available in the Lacrima shop will update. You can buy gear and consumables at the Lacrima shop. Gear consists of exclusive items obtainable only in the Berserker's Bloodshed mode. For the armor, we have the Stalker set, the Doom set, and the Wrath set. And as for the weapons, we have 3 Berserker's weapons in total, which I would imagine 1 for dual wield, 1 for greatsword, 1 for spear. And then as for the accessories, we do have the Bloodshed set, which of course we don't know anything about. The gear purchased from the Lacrima shop will be granted random options exclusive to Berserker's Bloodshed instead of set effects. The same gear can have different options, and you can choose to make your purchase depending on the randomly assigned options available. And then once this is done, we would just simply proceed to the next boss battle location. In regards to the rewards, upon completing the mode, tokens will be delivered to your mailbox within the crevice, and you can then talk to the Blade Phantom to exchange these tokens for other items. Now, as for the specifics on certain things, we'll start with gear. You will start with 3 different types of weapons unlocked: dual wield, greatsword, and spear. Items cannot be discarded during the mode, and the discard option will not appear. Phantoms can also not be used in this mode, and phantom info is not displayed within the gear window. Only gear provided in Ultimate Challenge will be listed and available for use. For the inventory, only the consumable items will be displayed, and they can be equipped via the hotkey within the gear window. Items cannot be discarded during this mode, and the discard option will not appear. For the skill tree, you cannot gain mastery through battles within Ultimate Challenge, but you can activate the weapon skills by equipping certain gear within Ultimate Challenge. You can use the first playthrough skill set for all 3 weapon types, invest skill points to acquire or unequip skills, except for Brutal Attack and Brutal Attack Fall, which will be excluded from the skill tree. In regards to status, your character's level and status information gained within Ultimate Challenge will be displayed. Exiting Ultimate Challenge will end the challenge and return you to the mode selection screen from the challenge area. Returning to the title screen will return you to the title screen from the Ultimate Challenge lobby screen or the boss room. And as for the miscellaneous information, challenge time limit will be visible only when the main menu is open during a challenge. If you obtain any items or skill points upon entering the Ultimate Challenge, a notification will appear within the main menu, and a notification will also appear when you purchase items from the Lacrima shop within Berserker's Bloodshed mode. Very quickly for the loading screens, we do have new loading screens have been added for both Great General's Crucible and Berserker's Bloodshed modes. In regards to exchanging the Ultimate Challenge tokens, we simply interact with the Blade Phantom within the crevice to open the Exchange Tokens menu and trade in Crucible tokens or Bloodshed tokens for a variety of items. For the Crucible tokens, we do have the Dual Wield of Reaping, Great Sword of Execution, and the Spear of Retribution. And then for the Bloodshed tokens, we have the Transmuted Dual Wield of Reaping, Transmuted Great Sword of Execution, Transmuted Spear of Retribution. And then for the armor sets, we have the Defier set, the Radiant Darkness set, and the Netherworld Abyss set. In regards to the quality of life enhancements, we have added guidelines on unlocking new content. Once you complete all of the main missions within your first playthrough and enter the crevice for the first time, you will see the message that new content has now been unlocked. For improvements to Change Appearance feature is now unlocked when you complete the Blacksmith's Heirloom mission. Change Appearance feature was previously unlocked in New Game Plus, but it is now accessible during your first playthrough. In regards to the improvements to the game settings, the settings and sound menu will add an option to mute the game when the game is inactive on PC or Steam Deck. The settings, graphics, and then graphics quality option will also have an additional visual aid for the description. Applicable options, shadow quality, anti-aliasing, reflections, and ambient occlusion. For some of the more miscellaneous notes here, we have tooltips for attribute info have been added to the status screen. Names and descriptions of certain achievements have been revised for more natural and fluent phrasing. And then we have various different name changes here, which I'm obviously not fluent to speak through, but I will just leave on the screen for a few moments. And then finally, coming towards the end of the patch notes here, there are major bug fixes from this update that directly affect the gameplay. In regards to the common issues fixed, we have in the main mission, Revellion Imperial Theatre, soul stones located in certain areas could not be destroyed. In the bonus mission, Crimson Trace, the soul-bound night monsters on the bridge could not be defeated if they were knocked off. In the bonus mission, Kalido, if a boss was poisoned with a poison enhancer, and then the character died, then subsequently the boss, the remaining boss could not be engaged in battle. During the boss battle against Volbano, cancelling a specific attack with a skill would cause Volbano to freeze. And then finally, the dual-wield deafness skill could not be used whilst the character was taking continuous damage. For the PC-specific issues, we have the Spear of Faded Memories did not appear on the change appearance list. Certain unimplemented gear was being displayed in the change appearance list also. Whilst using Steam input, connecting the PlayStation DualSense controller would cause the Xbox controller UI to be displayed. We have a few brief instructions here on how to check Steam input usage. Go to your Steam library, right-click on the first Berserker Khazan and select Properties, and then within the controller tab, check if Steam input has been enabled. And then finally, in regards to the improvements, we have during boss battles with Hismar, the hit sound effect did not play from the actual point of impact. And then during boss battles with Shaktuka, the character could get stuck inside its body when Shaktuka entered an exhausted state. They've also added a description to the Greatsword skill combat cadence to clarify that it can chain into Savage Momentum if the input is held. Holding the input key through the activation of combat cadence chains into Savage Momentum. And then lastly, improved title screen display on ultra-wide monitors for the aspect ratio 6:1 or higher. A dedicated ultra-wide version of the intro video will now play. When using a PlayStation or Xbox device connected to a monitor, the standard version of the video will be shown instead. We are constantly monitoring your feedback and will review and apply further improvements as quickly as possible. And thank you. Well, there we have it, folks. Tons of details regarding the new boss rush modes, and despite them originally sounding quite restrictive, it would appear there is plenty of flexibility. But most importantly, with the rewards being tied to a currency, this would allow for many more rewards to be added to these game modes, as well as additional tweaks and addition to the game modes to thus increase the difficulty. It's speculation at this point, but absolutely could be a sign of things to come. Regardless, I'll be getting my teeth stuck in tomorrow, and we'll be back soon to look at the DLC rewards and how effective they are within the actual main game. But anyway, that is it for this guide, folks. I do have a range of guides and news videos on the channel, so do feel free to stop on by and check things out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, folks, and until next time, peace.